Hey everyone. What's up everyone? My name is Steph Michaels and I am lost. Hello. Welcome. My name is Steph Michaels for those of you who don't know me, and I am a breast implant illness and breast cancer survivor. Bear with me. I'm still trying to figure out this whole YouTubing thing, but you know what? Doesn't even matter. Let's get started. So I decided to share my journey with my followers on social media. I give my followers a show. So for those of you who follow me, you know what I'm talking about. I've showed the ups, the downs, the good, the bad. So recently, one of my videos went viral. Well, I was talking about my diet during cancer. This is probably why you're here, because nobody was watching. Nobody was coming to check for me before that. Okay. Nobody was coming to check for me before that. I had no movement. I had no love. I had nothing on TikTok. I was getting love on Instagram, but that was about it. So if you're here now because you saw my video and it brought you here, welcome. It's so good to see you. For real. High five. So the first time I got my implants was in 2004. I remember just feeling really insecure about myself. And so I decided that I wanted to get implants, and I did. Like, as soon as I got my implants, I always had like this weird swelling inflammation around like the areolas where it would just like swell like bottle caps. I didn't think nothing of it. The doctor didn't really say anything. Fast forward 2007, I decided to go get my breasts redone again, except this time I wanted to have a lift. My skin was stretching, it just was looking crazy. The areolas went from silver dollars to like salad plates. Wasn't feeling it. I don't know what was going on. I got the gummy bear silicone breast implants. And again, immediately, like right after surgery, it was like swelling and things was banging. Okay. But not like in a good way. Okay. They look good with my clothes on. But I knew that it just wasn't looking right, and I didn't understand why, and the doctor really didn't have any answers for me either. It was just normal inflammation after surgery, and eventually it would subside. It didn't subside for like 10 years, yo. It took like 10 years for the bottle caps to stop. Out the gate, I was getting sick. It was just like ridiculous. Throughout the years, it became like a regular thing for me where I was getting admitted into the hospital, and I would be there for like 4, 5, 6 days at a time. Each time that I would go there for different things. They did all types of tests for me, everything. And they could not figure out why I was sick. They had no answers. They would do my labs and everything just seemed normal. And eventually they started like looking at me like I was a hypochondriac. Like I was imagining all of these symptoms that I was feeling. I knew that I wasn't imagining these feelings. Like I would be sick and I would go to the hospital and I just kind of expected not to have any answers. So I was like, all right, well, here we are again. My annual vacation stay at the hospital. Great. All right, guys. One time I was there, I had myocarditis. I had pericarditis one time. They thought that I had Lyme disease. They thought that I could have Crohn's. There were 2 times where I had to have surgery where I had developed these cysts at the base of like my tailbone. So I was having a whole bunch of things going on in my body, and never once throughout many. They didn't know what I had. They had no idea. Okay. But never once throughout all of these hospital visits, never once did they ever think your implants. Now, when you go to the hospital, you always have to fill out the forms or whatever to just say, how many surgeries that you've had. You have to list a bunch of stuff, which I don't understand why, because it's not like they ever use that information and try to figure out what's going on. You know what I mean? Instead, it was just easier to just assume I was bugging. How convenient. There were symptoms that I had for so long, I didn't even realize that they were because of anything. It was just normal. I was so lucky throughout my teens and my early 20s. I never had any acne. And then it was like throughout my 30s, it was like a strawberry patch, and I just couldn't, no matter what I did, I just could not get rid of it. Fast forward October 2020, I got real sick. And I wasn't feeling well. My chest was hurting. I was feeling like I was like having a heart attack. I mean, it was just like all types of stuff going on with my body. So I get admitted into the hospital. And I remember laying there, it was like day 3. They even sent me to get tested with nuclear medicine. And still, it was like no answers. So I remember laying in the bed, and a friend of mine that I've known since elementary school calls me and she was like, Steph, let me ask you a question and don't take this the wrong way. And I'm like, yeah, sure, what's up? And she was like, do you have implants? And I was like, yeah. So at that moment, it was like her voice changed, and then she started telling me about her own experience with breast implants and how they were making her sick and how she had to have an explant because they nearly killed her. So throughout this conversation, she's saying things. It was like lights were coming on. Ding, 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 ding. And I was like, yo, for 14 years, I'm in and out of the hospital and nobody is giving me any answers. I'm not getting any closer to what's going on with me every time I come in there. Like, my folder was crazy. Like, I should have carte blanche at this point. Now I'm starting to Google breast implant illness symptoms. And don't you know that as soon as I started Googling it, I had all of them. I had all of them. I was like, this is crazy. My implants are making me sick, but how? The doctors told me that they were safe. The FDA said that they were safe. There's no way. But I got all of these symptoms. And it all makes sense now. So once I get discharged from the hospital, I go and I make an appointment with my primary care physician. As soon as I get in there, I'm like, Doc, my breast implants are making me sick. And she's looking at me like, your breast implants aren't making you sick. I'm like, listen, my breast implants are making me sick, Doc. I know what I'm talking about. So I said, listen, I want to set up a consultation with an explant specialist, but I would like to see if my insurance will cover it because I have in fact been sick for 14 years. And y'all told me that this was safe. So y'all gonna have to pay for this. So I make the appointment to get the consultation with Dr. Rankin at Aquaplastic Surgery in Jupiter, Florida. When I went to go see him, I just remember just asking him questions and just like telling him just my experiences and everything that, the symptoms that I was having. It was just so refreshing knowing like, damn, I found a doctor that actually knows. I felt so happy at the fact that I finally found a doctor that actually had answers for me. I was like, okay, Dad. So there was no going through your insurance company. Like, I had to come out of pocket, and I was like, damn. I knew that I had to get it done. So it was like, all right, it is what it is. If I can't go through my insurance, it got to get done. These things got to come out of me. I'm 1000% positive that my breast implants are making me sick, and they had been making me sick for the last 14 years at that time. I had never had a mammogram done at that time. I knew that, prior to having the surgery, that I was going to have it done. So my doctor went ahead and wrote up the referral, and I procrastinated. Yeah, I procrastinated for about 4 or 5 months. And January, February, March 2021, I was good. I was in the gym. I was working out. I was feeling good. I was just in my routine. Everything was cool. May, June, July, I start feeling super tired. Not like normal tired. No matter what I did, no matter how much I slept, I was exhausted. And it was an exhaustion that like I had never experienced before. Like it was next level. Like I was next level tired. And I'm talking about, it was a point where I was like sleeping like 12, 13, 14 hours and waking up and still feeling like I haven't slept 5 minutes. So I was like, all right, you know what? Enough is enough. And I need to get these things out of my body ASAP. So I finally make the appointment to go get my mammogram done. And I go in there and I remember it was just like an experience in itself. Like I was like, I gotta put my boob where? Y'all gonna do what? And within an hour, like it wasn't even an hour, I got a phone call from my doctor. And my doctor said, we want you to come back in and do another mammogram, and we're going to also have you do some ultrasounds. I was a little concerned at first because it was just like, okay, well, what are we talking about? I go back in for my second appointment, and they did my mammogram first, and then I went in for my ultrasound. And when they did my ultrasound, I was there for like almost 4 hours, no lie. 4 hours I was in there with the tech, and she would, do the imaging, have me lift my arm, do this, do that, turn to the side, she had like, every time she would have her imaging, she would send it over to the doctor, and the doctor would call back and tell her to do it a different way. So at the end of the appointment, the doctor had called, they put her on speaker, and she basically let me know that I would be hearing from her within like a week or so. I was like, okay, Steph, like stay positive. And I did. September 21st, 2021. It was like 9:30 in the morning. I got the call from my doctor, and she said, Stephanie, I'm really sorry to let you know, but
you have breast cancer.